Hello and welcome back to the Trainers of the World Tournament Season 2. I'm your host DeltaTDS, and today for match number 32, we've got the Paldea Gym Leader Kofu going up against the Team Star Eri. We can see that this will be a Water type versus Fighting type matchup. We know Revavroom's got, I think, the Stamina ability, because it's the Star Mobile. And then we can see Kofu's got a non-water type, the Crabominable. We can see also that Eri's got the Hitmonlee as the ace, and Kofu has Feraligatr as his ace. Once these trainers are ready, we'll begin match 32 and see who's going to be taking the first game. Eri starting off with Hitmonlee and Hitmontop. Kofu starting off with Pelipper and Palafin. Intimidate, lowering Pelipper's attack and Palafin's attack. I don't think either one will care. Palafin would care if it was in its hero form. Pelipper going for Protect, blocking that Fake Out. Flip Turn, doing 52% to Hitmonlee in the rain with an attack drop. Switching out to the Barraskewda as Hitmontop goes for Coaching on Lee. I am not going to keep saying Hitmon and Hitmon. They're now Top and Lee. Switching out Hit Top for the Lucario. Psychic Fangs takes out the Hitmonlee. Hurricane does 57% to Lucario. Turn 2, Aries lost one Pokemon. And it sends back out the top, lowering Barraskewda's attack. I mean, lowering Pelipper's as well, but again, it's not going to care. You don't see this thing's got hands, it's not going to need them. You know what? Game Freak should let me direct a Pokemon game. Switching out the Barraskewda for the Veluza, Pelipper goes for Protect, Lucario goes for Bulk Up, Hitmontop goes for that Fake Out on the Veluza, doing 10%. I don't like how that fish is staring at me. I really do not like that. It looks weird. Switching out to the Revavroom with the Balloon. Extreme Speed does 37%. Veluza goes for Fillet Away, losing 50% of its health. Hurricane takes out the Lucario. Hitmontop comes back out with the Intimidate. Pelipper goes for Protect, fakes out the Veluza, flinches it. Revavroom goes for Shift Gear, getting its weird stat boost of +2 speed, +1 attack, so like a better Dragon Dance. High Horsepower missing the Veluza, Psycho Cut taking out the Revavroom, Rapid Spin doing 8.5% to Pelipper, boosting speed. Hurricane does 73%, switches out to the Palafin thanks to that red card, and Eri's gonna send out the Annihilate. Palafin is such a cool Pokemon. Switching out to the Hawlucha, Annihilate goes, Terra goes, Jet Punch with the crit takes out the Hawlucha, Aqua Cutter takes out the Annihilate, and Eri is left down to that Hitmontop. That Intimidate gets rid of the attack boost on Veluza, and Jet Punch takes out the Hitmontop, making Kofu our winner for game number 1 with all 6 Pokemon remaining. From Eri's team, we saw the Air Balloon on the Revavroom, we saw Terra Ghost on Annihilate, we saw the Mega Lucario, we saw the red card on Hitmontop with Intimidate and Coaching, and Fake Out. Hitmonlee with the Fake Out, and nothing from that Hawlucha. From Kofu's side, we didn't see the Crabominable or the Feraligatr. We saw Psychic Fangs on the Barraskewda, Citrus Berry on Veluza with Fillet Away, and the Drizzle on the Pelipper. I mean, what the hell else would you run on a Pelipper? What are Pelipper's other abilities? All we think of it now is just the Stormbird. Keen Eye and Rain Dish? Boring. Okay, now I see why we only run Drizzle. We are back on the field for game number 2, and we can see quite a few changes. Eri has added the Water Tauros, the Pissimian to her team. And we can see that Kofu's added the Wug Trio, the Tatsugiri, the Dondozo, and the Dreadnought to his team. Once these trainers are ready, we can see if Kofu takes a game number 2 or if Eri's gonna bring this to a game number 3. Kofu sending out the Tatsugiri and Dondozo, Eri sending out the Hawlucha and Paldea and Tauros. Tatsugiri's commander activating, giving a double Omni boost to Dondozo. How did that get past Game Freak? How did that get past the balancing stuff? That is so insane. You know, be thankful that Kofu didn't battle Joy, or else her Pokemon could just psych up Dondozo and be crazy. Okay. Close combat doing 11% to Dondozo. Another close combat doing 17% to Dondozo. Dondozo goes for Order Up, doing 44% to Hawlucha. Poison Jab does 5%. Liquidation takes out the Hawlucha. Pissimian gets burned from that Flame Orb. Paldea and Tauros with the Intimidate intimidates Tatsugiri and the Dondozo, which I didn't even know was possible. I mean, for the Dondozo, or Tatsugiri. Ugh. Liquidation does 50% to Pissimian. Pissimian knocks off Dondozo's leftovers with a crit. Revavroom is sent out. Goes for the Shift Gear. Flings the Flame Orb onto that Dondozo, burning it. Order Up does 14%, raising Dondozo's attack. Switching out to the Paldea and Tauros. Revavroom goes for another Shift Gear. Body Press does 36%, boosting its defense thanks to the stamina ability. Popping the Air Balloon. Switching out to the Hitmonlee. Going for another Shift Gear. Order Up does 31%. Jesus, so much is happening. Faking out the Dondozo. Going for another Shift Gear with Revavroom. Dondozo still got over a third of its HP left. Meanwhile, Tatsugiri is looking pretty evil there. Intimidating Dondozo once again. Spin Out does 5% as Dondozo goes for Rain Dance. Plus 3 attack. High Horsepower doing 7% to Dondozo. Am I missing calculations? Like, why is this only doing like 5%? I know that. Okay, unaware. Gotcha. Those was on 1%. Oh my god. You know what? I understand the Dondozo hate now. This sucks. I feel bad for all those judges that have to like. Lucario Mega Evolves, goes for the bulk up. Body Press nearly takes out the Lucario. Burn finally takes out the Dondozo. Tatsugiri sitting at like minus whatever attack. I don't think it's a physical attacker, but Kofu's gonna send out the Dreadnought now. Revavroom's at max speed, max attack, plus 2 defense. Goes Terra Fighting. Dreadnought goes Terra Water. Tatsugiri goes Protect. Combat Torque lands that Protect. High Horsepower does 22%. Stamina boosting. Close Combat takes out the Dreadnought. Rain finally ends just to be set back up again. It's 4v4 right now. This Revavroom is like a Formula 1 race car out here. This thing is going to be running things over. Combat Torque takes out the Tatsugiri. Lucario goes for a bulk up. Hurricane, it takes out the Revavroom. That making it 3v3 right now. Kofu's got the Wug Trio, Feraligatr, and the Pelipper, while Eri has the Mega Lucario, the Tauros, and the Hitmonlee. Eri sends out that Hitmonlee as Kofu sends out the Feraligatr. Pelipper going for Protect against that extreme speed. Stone Edge going into that Protect as well. Liquidation takes out the Mega Lucario as Aries sends out the Paldea and Tauros, intimidating both of Kofu's Pokemon. Switching out to the Wugtrio, close combat does 77% to Feraligatr. Stone Edge brings Wugtrio down to 2%. Dragon Dance neutralizes that attack drop. Why did I say neutralize? I'm trying to reflect on my vocabulary. Bullet Punch takes out the Wugtrio. Gooey's gonna slow down Hitmonlee. Liquidation does 73% to Paldea and Tauros. Close combat takes out the Feraligatr. And it's just down to Pelipper here, who's at full HP. Close combat does 34%. Stone Edge does 48% to Pelipper. Hurricane brings Hitmonlee down to 4% with the confusion. Close combat takes out the Pelipper. And Aerie takes game number 2, which means we are going to a game number 3. That was quite the match. We saw everything from that Revavroom. The ability, the item, the Terra Fighting, all 4 moves. We saw the Intimidate on the Tauros. We saw Flame Orb on the Passimian and the Defiant ability, I think. Because I know it didn't receive the ability with the receiver. We got the White Herb on the Hawlucha, and then from Kofu's side, we saw Terra Water Dreadnought, we saw that Dondozo, my god that sucked, and nothing from the Wugtrio actually, and technically nothing from Tatsugiri because it only used Protect. We are back on the field for game number 3, I think our first game 3 in a while. We can see that Kofu went back to his game 1 team, while Aries stuck with her game 2 team. Once these trainers are ready, we can see which one of these two will be moving on to round 2. Kofu sending out the Pelipper and the Veluza. Aries sending out the Hitmonlee and the Passimian. Starting up that rain. Hitmonlee going fake out. Passimian flinging the Burn Orb, or the Flame Orb, onto Veluza. Hurricane takes out the Passimian. Veluza lost 45% of its HP and got burned, while Aries sends out the ballooned Revavroom. Pelipper going Terra Water. Revavroom going Shifts Gear. Stone Edge doing 26%. Weather Ball taking out the Revavroom, along with that Aqua Clutter from Veluza. And Aries gonna send out the Hawlucha now. It's currently 6v4 right now. Aerie is a little behind, but as we've seen before, that doesn't matter until the end of the game. Close combat does 40% to Pelipper. Stone Edge does 37% to Veluza. Psycho Cut takes out the Hitmonlee. Hurricane takes out the Hawlucha. And Aerie sends out her last 2 Pokemon, the Lucario and the Tauros. Lucario goes for the Mega. Pelipper protects while Lucario goes for Bulk Up. Close combat from that Tauros takes out the Veluza. Kofu's gonna send out the Palafin now. We saw this thing has Flip Turn and Jet Punch. Going to Flip Turn from the Lucario into that Crabominable as Lucario goes for another Bulk Up. Close combat's gonna take out the Pelipper, leaving Tauros with -2 defenses as Palafin comes back out. There's 3 turns of rain remaining. Extreme Speed does 65%, Drain Punch does 46% to Lucario. Close combat takes out the Crabominable. Aries not going down without a fight as Kofu sends out the Barraskewda. Another Extreme Speed would take out this Palafin, though this Barraskewda is terrifyingly fast in the rain. And I do remember from the Pokepaste, it does have a Choice Band, so it's going to be very strong as well. Extreme Speed takes out the Palafin. Psychic Fangs takes out the Tauros. And It's now 2v1 Lucario versus Feraligatr and Barraskewda. Feraligatr Mega Evolves. Extreme Speed takes out the Barraskewda. Liquidation takes out the Mega Lucario. And in just a few turns, Eri brought this down to one Pokemon left, while Kofu takes game number 3. Like I said, you never know what could happen in these games. But Kofu's going to be going on to round 2, where he'll be facing off against easily my favorite trainer from Season 1, Faulkner. Though I probably shouldn't say that because commentators curse, am I right? But join us tomorrow, where we'll be seeing a Paldean Elite 4 member, Rika, going up against the Pokemon Professor Elm. Thank you so much for watching, and until then, take care.